this wild card game should be at Yankee Stadium. I told you they were going to have to win 2 out of 3 in the last 2 series. They did it in Toronto. They did not do it against Tampa Bay. And I told you that Tampa Bay wanted to come in here and knock them out. They wanted to knock them out. They came in here to play, and they went through their normal pitching machinations, which they did, gave everybody a shot here or there. And it was just, the Gleyber Torres thing on Saturday was just mind-numbingly just insulting to anybody who ever watched a sport, paid and bought a ticket to a sport, and you see a guy dogging it down the first base line after the catcher misses on a swing and missed third strike, and just how lazy that was, especially in the midst of a 12-2 games. It's just like that right there was like the epitome of the Yankee weekend. And then yesterday, of course, I don't know, I think it was a field of choice. I don't think it was a single for Judge, but whatever you want to say, they eke out a victory, and now they have to go to Boston, which is really like they should be playing this game at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make. I mean, the last time they went up there, they did sweep the Red Sox. I do think they're in a better situation to win this game than Boston, other than the fact that it's at Fenway. But yeah, you're right. Of course, they should have won at least 2 out of 3. I should have been in the Legends Suite tomorrow with the prime rib, and I'm not going to be.
You should be upset. I think really, when you think how this affected you in particular, you should be upset.
I am actually very upset about it. I can't be too upset with all the winning that happened yesterday. But yeah, of course I was disappointed. I was so disappointed I couldn't go tomorrow to Yankee Stadium. I'm thinking about going to Boston. A little station presence up there. Now, I did see Evan tweet something out about he might be going on a road trip. If he goes with McGonigal, then I don't think I'll go up there.
You don't need to go. Yeah,
I don't need to go.
No, you just need to stay right here.
But I had the whole night cleared with the Yankee game and the whole thing.
Great. You get to sit and watch it and then come in here tomorrow morning, wide-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to talk about it.
No, well, it'll be Tuesday morning, Wednesday night.
But the thing about the Yankees that would worry me right now is the situation with DJ LeMahieu and his sports hernia that he's going to try and play through. And it's painful. It's definitely painful. And, he's playing third base. I don't know how this affects everything. Give a lot of credit to Gio Urshela making a great play yesterday. That was
staying in the game, too.
That was Jeter-esque.
It was.
That's what Yankee fans say, Jeter-esque. So they're in. I guess that's all that really matters in baseball. It doesn't matter where they play. It all comes down to your next starting pitcher. And, Garrett Cole has not had a great history at Fenway. And this is where your money man's got to come out. And he has not pitched the last few times out. Hasn't been great. This all falls on his right arm right now. And he's got to keep the Red Sox at bay.
He will. He's going to be great. I mean, the fact that he had 3 bad outings, and one of which against the Red Sox up there in recent memory, I mean, I cannot see him come out and be bad in this game. I really can't. If he is, obviously it can happen. But he's just he gets so focused in these situations. He's such a gamer and a bulldog and everything. I got to go on the history of what Garrett Cole has been as opposed to what we saw in the last couple of starts. I'm thinking he's going to be great. And the fact that the Red Sox went and used Sale, this is all him. It's all about Garrett Cole, man.
But it's baseball season.
It's baseball season is right.
That's exactly right. And I would just say that this is, you can't ask for a more pressurized situation for a particular player that has not been great over the last 3 or 4 outings. That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
And it'll be interesting to see what happens on Tuesday night. Now, talk about Victory Monday. Both quarterbacks yesterday showed that they have what it takes. And I want to start with Daniel Jones because there's a couple things that's going on with Daniel Jones. And yesterday was, prime example of the ability to make the play in the big spot. Whether leading your team to the tying field goal, I would have liked to have seen a game-winning touchdown. That would have been better. But, getting to the tying field goal and then dominating in overtime against a very good defense in their building, in those circumstances, first game home and all that other stuff. So, he's only thrown 1 interception this year in 4 games, and that was the Hail Mary at the end of the first half yesterday. He only has 1 fumble lost. I think only 1 fumble lost, or maybe just 1 fumble. So he has actually grown to a point now where he understands that protecting the football is the most important thing. And that was been one of the big bugaboos with him over the last 2 years. So we have seen marked improvement in that area. And yesterday, we saw a young man have his best game as a professional football player, leading his team to victory late in the game and then in overtime. And he looked the part. He looked like he was in command of the game. This is what I've been talking about over the last 3 weeks. Is about we need more from Daniel Jones, or they need more from Daniel Jones. And even with the defense giving up almost 190 yards rushing, you had a quarterback that overcame a lot of this stuff. He really did. He really looked great, and he looked poised, and he was throwing missiles. I mean, he was, sizzling the ball. And the touchdown pass to John Ross was like, all right, we got it. We got this thing going now. And he kept playing, and as the game went on, he played better. So I'm happy for him because it really looks like the light went on.
Yeah.
He did it against a good defense in a very tough situation, and in a game where none of us thought that they would win.
No, I certainly didn't. I thought there was going to be more emotion around this game. I thought it was going to be similar to what you saw years ago where the Superdome had been closed for a long time, and then here comes the Saints after Katrina. I thought you'd see the fan base rally, but that's not the case. It wasn't the case at all.
Well, they didn't have Drew Brees as a quarterback.
Yeah, no,
that's
I know.
The case.
I know, but I just thought the emotion was going to be there in this game regardless, and it wasn't. Now, there was a point, Giants down 21-10. Offensively, they're not getting it done.
Right.
And I'm thinking if they end up with 10 points here and they are 0-4, that there's just no way that they come back the same team the next week. Like, something would have to change. Maybe that would be the end of Jason Garrett. I don't know. Something would have had to change if they stuck there on 10 points. And clearly they didn't. And Saquon getting involved in the way that he did is another huge thing for the Giants. I mean, if you think about what Saquon had been up until yesterday, I mean, we're talking about a nothing, just a name, not really a player.
We're also talking about somebody coming off of a devastating knee injury.
Sure, but we've seen it before with guys come off. I mean, Adrian Peterson off his knee injury.
Yeah, one guy.
But I'm saying that's what Saquon is supposed to be. He's a gold jacket guy. He's touched by the hand of God. He's the second overall pick. I mean, he's more Darko Milicic as the second overall pick than he is Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, well, overall, he'll get there. And yesterday, I think, was part of it. It's him trusting it and them using him in different ways. And I thought they had a pretty creative game plan offensively. And, the interesting thing is, I'm sure you watched New England and Tampa Bay last night. So I thought Josh McDaniels had really one of his best ever game plans. As a rookie quarterback, they go into the fourth quarter. They get a chance to the game-winning field goal. The rookie quarterback at one time had 19 completions in a row. Wasn't a lot of fancy stuff, but you know what? It was a great game plan. They didn't have over 300 yards in total offense. You would think that they did the way that
Sure.
Mac Jones was playing, but it was one of those games where he had to get it out. It was going to be a lot of short passes, a lot of kind of weird screens and tight end delays, all these unique things that are help young quarterbacks get a lot of completions and get confidence as the game went on. I felt like that was the case yesterday with the Giants. Like, it took them a while to get going, but once they got going, there were a lot of really good play calls, a lot of really good play designs. Everybody got involved. A lot of guys touched the ball yesterday. Mm-hmm. Kenny Golladay had a great day. So I thought Jason Garrett had one of his best days as the offense coordinator. And it was I know the offense only had 10 points going into the fourth quarter. I just felt like the defense never really took control of the game. They were being run on constantly, and that's frustrating. And that's the other thing about last night's game is that they held Tom Brady to no touchdown passes and 19 points. That's a winning formula. You're making the other team, okay, we got 5 guys in a box, 6 guys in a box. We're going to run it, and we're not going to throw it because you got too many guys in the secondary, and you kind of shorten the game, and then you put yourself in a position to win the game late. The difference is if Tom Brady's the quarterback in the situation, most likely you're going to win the game. And again, he did it again last night, and Mac Jones, unfortunately, couldn't get it done because Nick Folk doinked the final field goal attempt. But I just think that Daniel Jones showed yesterday that he can be the guy, that he can legitimately be the man that he was supposed to be when he was drafted, and he's gotten better each year, and he's not turning the ball over. That's the key thing.
Giants won a game we didn't expect them to win. They've got 2 more on the schedule right after this, going to Dallas and then hosting the Rams. Those are 2 games that prior to the season starting, we said were going to be very difficult games. I think that Dallas game looks harder now than it even did in the beginning of the season with the way that they have played, and the same thing with the Rams, who ended up losing yesterday. Told you, it was one of those
letdown games.
Letdown games, one of those sandwich spots, the whole thing. for the Rams.
Maybe the Cardinals are pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe Kyler Murray is like a jitterbug all over the field.
Maybe he is. Zach Wilson yesterday looked like he could play in the league. He was making throws that not everybody can make. He was doing things that made him look like he belonged. The Jets finding a way to win that game when they ended up coughing up the lead and the game gets tied and then continuing. I know it was a missed field goal. It could have been a tie and it was a makeable field goal. I understand all of that. But this was a team that looked overmatched, as we talked about the first couple of weeks. Didn't even look like an NFL. Went out there and won, and their quarterback made star throws. Now, I'm not saying he played like a star, but he made a couple of NFL star quarterback throws yesterday that were completed and made you get excited for the first time about what he can be and what this team can be.
So maybe this is what Robert Saleh has been talking about, the last 4 or 5 weeks. When the light finally goes on, you're going to see what we see in practice. And in practice, there's no nerves. And the nerves don't, really affect you. And you're out there, you're going through your motions, you're not going to get hit, and they probably see a lot of great things in practice. And yeah, I know we're talking about practice, but the one thing, and even Zach Wilson said it yesterday, he had one throw at the end of the game in regulation. He drops back. He's probably made this throw 10,000 times. There's a little out route to the right.
Throws it right in the
It's probably about 10,000 times, but he overthrows his intended receiver, and now they give Tennessee a chance, and they have to go into overtime. And even he knows that that's a throw that he has to make. And I know Adam Archuleta said it yesterday on the broadcast. You make this throw, the game is over, and you walk off the field a champion. And those are the throws that he'll learn to make as time goes on. He was nervous. That when you throw the ball high and away like that, you're nervous. And you're nervous because you don't want to make the mistake that you have made in previous games. You don't want to throw the key interception. And so sometimes an incomplete pass is okay. And I would just say that there were a couple times yesterday he had guys open that he missed late in the game that as he calms down and as he continues to grow, remember, he's 2 years behind Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. So he's just got to calm down and he's got to learn. And he will. And you're right. He made a couple of spectacular throws. And that's what they see in practice. And I'm not sitting here comparing him to any other player in the league other than to give people a perspective of how and what type of throw he made. 2 throws that he made yesterday are reminiscent of the way that Aaron Rodgers threw when he was younger and made plays moving around and had the ability to throw from a different arm angle and put steam on it and be accurate with it. So I'm not saying he's going to beat Aaron Rodgers. I'm just saying.
Not everybody could do what Zach Wilson did yesterday.
Right, exactly. Because there are very few people that can make throws like that and do it under duress and do it the way that the ball just actually lands right into the guy's hands. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. So he had a little bit of a coming out party yesterday. And it was a good game for him, and I'm glad he wakes up this morning finally with a little smile on his face.
Well, same here with us.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.